But what do you
It's
mean
pretty much.
make a second account specifically for climbing?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like just like my MMR shot, and I was just wondering if it would be easier to do something like a climbing challenge on a fresh account.
No, I wouldn't say so. No, I definitely wouldn't say so. I would say the main use of having a second account would be to have a environment where you're more comfortable learning new champions. But I would say
Well, if
like
that's the
looking,
case, then I don't even. It doesn't
yeah,
matter to me.
exactly. And it's like I don't know, like looking through your OPG, it's pretty interesting. Like especially when we go back, like obviously the most important stuff is the more like recent relevant stuff. This current split right now. You have 90 unique champions, right? And some of that's normal, so it is what it is. But like even 22, and there's absolute no continuity between your roles here, right? Like jungle, 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 top, top, jungle, mid, jungle, jungle. Who knows, you know? But when we like, I was looking through this
Definitely.
earlier, going that's like mid, jungle, mid, 80 carry, 80 carry, 80 carry support, and not to mention 100 unique champions. It's like this is a motif for sure, like that we see throughout pretty much anytime you're actually playing this game, like consider like putting in the reps, which is the main thing, right? But it's always so spread out. Like I love that you got almost 600 Gangplank games here, but again, it's just like 100 unique champions. That's insane. Like that's actually insane. The issue with that I have for it, it's a like kind of a disrespect towards champion mastery. You play League through the lens of a champion, not just literally like, yeah, you have to play a champion and you have to click with them, but like everything is referenced and relative through that champion. So for instance, if we're playing Akali,
Mm,
how you need to think about the game at level 12 on 2 spikes is completely different than if you were playing Gangplank, you know? Because in Gangplank,
yeah.
yeah, you're kind of just you're fine to just get to level 13, get to like maybe 2, 3 items. You're fine scaling. You have no problem. Akali, it's a completely different game. And so that's kind of more what I mean about why champion mastery is so important is because there's so many things that you have to parse through the champion to actually understand the game. You have to really understand a champion before you can really understand the game. Something I think that would be really useful for you to like try to internalize is
Mhm.
you can only learn the game or a champion at one time. You can't do both. Right? You're either improving your ability on the champion or you're trying to improve your ability like on the game holistically. But if you never really learn a champion first, you're never really going to learn the game in a true manner. Does that make sense?
Yeah, just when you were trying to talk about like how I play Gangplank is drastically different than how I would play any other champion. Like you're saying, like yes, I don't even really like grouping until I hit 13 2 items. Then my barrels are like on a much shorter cooldown. I can do my 3 part combo so much easier. And it's just like I will just stay in a solo lane and pretty much ignore everybody. Where if I'm playing like example with Akali, I don't know if it's just because I don't know the champion so well, but like I'm just always just trying to fight.
Exactly. I
Like
mean, because what that tells to me is like what you just explained on Gangplank is a bunch of different reference points. Like you understand if I hit 13, I feel stronger. If I have a couple items, like if I don't know what his build is right now, but like if I have a couple items, like I'm gonna feel stronger. And you probably like when you're playing a lot of Gangplank, you know what those items are, and you know like
yeah,
your 2 item spike versus your 3 item spike, the difference in that power. On a call,
I
you
need
have no reference
yeah,
points at all, so you have no
no.
idea. So you're just fumbling around in the dark like not able to actually get anywhere because you're not really sure what's going on or where to go. And it's like
No,
that
I
that
just
go ahead.
I just rely on like mechanically outplaying.
Exactly.
Honestly,
Hmm.
that's and I know I should not just say I know I could press the buttons and look at the screen faster and process information faster than my opponent.
Yeah, but think about like if you were playing Akali versus you were playing Gangplank, like which one's gonna win? It's
Me playing Gangplank, absolutely.
because your ability to process information will be that much quicker, right? Because like you don't have to think about anything Akali or anything champion related. You can just trust your instincts, trust your intuition, play through your muscle memory and like the way things feel. You don't have to sit there and
Yeah,
think like, oh, should I do this? Like, is this good in Akali? Or like, how do I even approach this? It's like it's the difference between having that thinking and hesitation versus pure execution. And it's
playing Gangplank is like yeah. I don't know if you ever watched Dragon Ball Z, but it's like having Ultra Instinct on.
yeah, exactly,
Like I
exactly,
literally don't have like my mental stack is so free playing Gangplank that I can like
exactly,
jungle track, I can like tell people what to fucking do. I can
exactly.
like orchestrate the map like if as if I was playing jungle in the top lane.
Yep, exactly. You just you like you touched on your mental stack is just freer, and that's really the ultimate thing. Is because League is really about managing your mental stack. The freer your mental stack, the more you can see things, the more you can pre-plan, and the more you can just like have an understanding of what's actually happening in the game. And that will matter way more than anything you could do mechanically. You know, it doesn't matter how good you are at clicking things if like you're not prepared for what's actually happening.
Yeah, yeah, because there's definitely moments where when I'm playing Akali, just for because it's the most recent thing I was playing, like I definitely I'm processing. I'm like actively thinking instead of just like instinctively knowing what to do.
Yep, exactly. And so like what I want to make something tangible for like what I want you to focus on and work on. Obviously it's like you need to limit your champion pool and you need to choose one role. Like you need to, if you want to do 2 champions in mid lane, that's fine. But you need to stick to them and you need to stick to mid lane. And it's, you don't have to look at that like, okay, I'm playing 2 champions for the rest of my life. You can do like what's called champion cycling where, okay, say you want to, just for a reference, like for example, your 2 champions are going to be Akali and Gangplank mid, right? And say like commit to that for 3 weeks and then maybe be like, okay, I don't actually want to play Gangplank. Put in Akali Echo, you know? So you're still keeping Akali in there. You're not going to move her out right away, but you should have some mastery built up by then that now it's fine to put more of your focus on Echo and occasionally play Akali just to keep her like her skill up. And then say 3 weeks from then, you're like, you know what? I'm sick of playing Akali at this point. I'm going to throw Gangplank back in, or I'm going to throw somebody else in, you know, but you're still keeping Echo there.
Okay.
And so, over like the course of a split, you're going to get like a bunch of experience on like 5, 6 different champions
Instead of like 100.
Exactly. And what's more important too is like it's focused experience, you know, it's not like, it's like if like 10 of these games, I mean, I know these are ARAMs, but still like a lot of them are, but like if these are all Akali, like all the non-ARAM games here are just Akali, and then like 3 weeks from now they're all Echo, you know, it's like that's way different than just like, you know, just like randomly like here's an Akali game, but then you play a bunch of Gangplank, some Fizz, Kale, you know, it's like you're so what experience you've gotten by trying to like process, like we were talking about like building those reference points, any small experience you would have gotten is diluted now by trying to do the same thing on other champions. So you're never actually really building up that experience. You're never really developing your understanding.
Okay. So mid first roll, second roll will just be top, so that way I can keep the solo lane-esque thing going.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like jungle and bot lane are just so much different than mid and top.
100%. So I think that's a great idea. That's what I do personally. Mid top, that's completely fine. And if you want to, and you can play Akali top and have completely fine success too. There's no issues.
I feel like I like playing her more top lane than.
She's a bit easier to execute.
What I've noticed is just that ranged mid laners won't engage. Like they will not walk up anywhere, and I have to dodge the skill shot to even get close enough to engage. Because like I can do her full combo, I know how to do the R into the E thing and like do all of that, but it's just so they just won't walk up, and it just frustrates me sometimes.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, but it's also like, I mean, we'll get into that stuff in lane when we see it, but yeah.
Well, like if you also see like my runes, like I'm running fleet footwork with like I think the movement speed and sorcery.
I don't love your
just
runes,
so I can try to move quickly. Well, I love movement speed.
That's fair. If you really are down on fleet, that's fine. Sorcery, these runes are not really useful. I'll be honest with you. Especially for what you want to do. It's like they're not going to help you, and the 1% movement speed is not going to matter for getting onto somebody. It's not going to be the difference between like you getting a trade off in lane or not. It might 1 out of 100 times. It's just not worth it. I promise you. What I would recommend overall. So
does that work for Gangplank though? Because I get the movement speed with my passive and then my barrel procs, or should I just do something completely else?
I'm not too sure what Gangplank's going for runes these days, but I would say like if you're going Celerity and Gangplank, it feels wrong to me. It definitely feels wrong to me.
I just feel like I'm so much faster with it than without it, and it makes it easier for me to like just outplay and make
might
like
be
stupid
faster,
dodges.
but I think really it's like whatever benefit you're getting out of Celerity, I promise you would get out of just playing better.
Okay.
It's like this is not the different. This is not like what's doing the work for you. I promise.
So I'm just nerfing myself.
I think so, especially in Akali, 100%.
Okay.
The runes I would recommend,
more like electrocute.
Yeah, I would say for ease of execution, like go like electrocute, taste of blood. Do you have?
Yeah.
Yeah, Electrocute, Taste of Blood, Eyeball, Ultimate Hunter.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
And then
And then
go
I'm just going
Resolve.
for like the one shot. I'm going for a full combo and just I'm trying to 0 to 100 them. Or do I want to
Not
like have
necessarily.
one small trade, get them down to like 70, 60% and then go for the all in?
As a rule of thumb, yes, but obviously it always depends, right? And
Yeah, of
Electrocute
course.
can be useful just for like Q auto Q. That makes your trade just more potent. You know, it's just
Or
like
QE. Now when I reactivate the E, is that a second
it sure
attack?
is. Yeah.
Okay. So then it could just be E into an auto.
Yeah, it gives you strong trading power, and yeah, like you said, it also gives you strong all-in power. I would also heavily recommend go Resolve secondary, go Second Wind, and Overgrowth. Second Wind just
Yeah,
helps your lane a lot. It makes you so you can just trade more effectively.
with Door and Shield, right?
Exactly. Just always
Okay, yeah.
always goes Door and Shield too. And then I'd recommend double AP and flat HP. Don't go scaling, which I know
Okay.
we're not, like. Don't go scaling. Just grab the flat. It'll be more worthwhile.
Yeah, the more confident I am, I take just the flat because like I'm down to just trade. Like, cause like again, playing Gangplank, it's like I'm not gonna lose. Like I feel so confident with GP. It's like
And just
I'll kill you
overall, like
level
most
I'll kill you level
champions.
3. Like, dude, I'll even take Ignite with GP top lane sometimes if I'm really feeling it. And like I will get first blood level 3 consistently.
Nice, very nice. But yeah, so I would just say like flat HP is useful for just it's honestly just a better rune currently. You just get value out of it in lane pretty much all the time. So let's start off with like before we like get deep into this. What do you kind of like? How are you viewing Akali as a champion? Like, what do you think about her like power curve? How do you kind of feel about her items? Like, how do you kind of want to play her out in lane? How do you want to play her? Like, when do you feel like she might be strong? What's your hypothesis there?
I mean, honestly, with Akali, which is why I've been gravitating towards her, I feel strong like as soon as I get level 3, I'm down to start fighting and try to kill you.
So would you say that's kind of your game plan is just kind of like get level 3 and fuck around? See if they want to find out or not?
So it just depends on honestly in the first 3 levels, I am watching how my opponent's moving and if I can bait out certain abilities and like basically if I determine that they're just fucking bad, then I'm gonna fight. Like level 3 and try to all in you or just start trading with you. But like if I can tell that you're spacing really well and I can tell that you're like holding your charm because I played a couple of games earlier today and I've already learned that like better players are going to hold their charm and not just throw it out.
Yeah.
So when I see that, then I already know that like okay, they know what I want to do. So like I can't like cheese them essentially.
Yeah, okay. I see where you're coming from. Why don't let's just take a look for now. Just see what we
Oh
see.
God, I'm sorry. I move around so fucking much.
All right. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to just stand still.
And I've also learned that like I think the proper way to play it is to just kind of like play passive, wait for level 6, and then try to make that all in play.
Yeah, you spike hard on 6. So like I would say, I guess real quick, I'm kind of a little bit all over the place, but real quick, this is kind of how I view Kali's power curve. She's not strong, too strong level 1. You kind of are equal until level 4. Level 6, you hit a nice spike, but nothing crazy. And I'd say your first like major spike is going to be level 9 here because that's
when I'm getting like Storm Surge in my boots.
That's 5 points into Q, which is important. That's your first item. Which, if you like Storm Surge, I think that's fine. I like Lichbane a lot, but Storm Surge is definitely not a bad item. That's totally fine if that's just how you feel it. I would say Lichbane, Storm Surge, or Rocket Belt should be... Any of those 3 should be one of your first items. And
what I've been doing is Storm Surge into Shadow Flame.
That's great. I think that's fine. If you like that, continue to go for it. There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
I like Lichbane just because I like to min-max commas, but there's nothing wrong with
So for like
Surge.
Echo, I prefer Lichbane over Storm Surge.
Yeah, I think it's like as you get more comfortable on Akali, you recognize like most of her DPS comes from like maximizing her comma use, and that's just obviously tied her passive.
Yeah. So, okay, when she spins the little thing around, and I get like
an
bigger range on my autos. Yeah.
So it's just like obviously if you're min maxing those, you'll get a lot of opportunities to auto attack people with Lichbane, and that feels really nice. But Again, Storm Surge, if you just like it, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I would recommend just stick to a build for a while. Like we were just saying with Champion Mastery, like eliminating as many variables as possible is so useful because it just allows you to get a really strong understanding of your strength.
Okay.
But
Okay.
anyway, so it's like I would say your hardest spike is your first like genuine like okay I can get a lot of work done is going to be 9 on your first item roughly. You definitely hit like a nice spike at 6. You have a lot of kill potential, but I would say like this early lane like 1 through 4, we're not super strong. And like you kind of touched on, it's like yeah we don't mind just playing passively, but I wouldn't say passive as much as opportunistic. Right.
Well, yeah, like if they walk up and are going to be dumb, then yes, I could take a trade.
Exactly. But we want to just kind of play the war of attrition. We don't need to overtrade. But like this is why Second Wind and D Shield will help a lot more, because then suddenly like your criteria for what makes a good trade changes a lot. Because you can take like Q auto from Ari and just give her a Q and you'll win in the long run because Second Wind and D Shield will heal you up so much. So that
Okay.
So like that's like the war of attrition, but ultimately like our goal is to be opportunistic. Like if they're going to give us good trades, we're going to take them. If they overstep, we'll punish them. But otherwise, yeah, we just kind of want to hang out and just farm up and like wait for some of our spikes. Because we're not too strong early. Q costs so much mana or energy on the early levels. Doesn't
Like
really do that
110,
much
I
damage.
think.
Yeah, you know, it's like you can't really get a ton done. You definitely can, but like it's not what we're not like an early lane bully. That's not really what we're looking to do.
So can I forego taking a point in E to put 2 points into Q, like QWQ? Or do I want that E in case it's like I did take E this one and I think it saves me from I think I get ganked by Hecker pretty early, like
Yeah,
at like
sometimes
4 minutes or something.
I would say sometimes, yeah, you could put 2 points into Q. You could do QEQ or QWQ. I would recommend not doing that, honestly. I don't think it's
Okay.
like that big of a breakpoint difference, and having all 3 of your abilities in Akali is just pretty important. Like
Okay.
E and W both are very useful. I'd say there's probably some like 10% of the time you could get there's a reason you might want to do that, but I'd say for now don't overcomplicate it and just do QWE.
Okay. Can do. Yeah, even just watching this now, it's just like even like when I use my W, I posture so aggressively. Like instead of going, I shouldn't go. I feel like I should not be going forward as much as I do.
I don't mind that with W. I mean, you want to get value out of using it. I was honestly thinking you might not be getting enough. Like, I don't really like this W because I think if you're going to use W here, you should put it like this.
Yes, yes.
Just to add, because then you're actually threatening her. You know, it's like you're not. It's like that's like we were saying. It's like you could be opportunistic here, right? Like it's fine. Like if you throw W down and you were saying you're having a hard time getting onto these ranged heroes, but if you put your W down like more aggressively here, like you put your mouse back here, that puts the W here. If you instead like put it like this, then you can like walk in it and she can't hit you, or you can like walk around to the other side and you can find like Q auto Q, and that's a nice trade. And then you back up. You know, that's fine.
Especially
There's
if I
nothing wrong with
had
that.
second winded door and shield, even if I
electrocute.
even if I take a full Q front and back, I'll still be
Exactly.
I will recover more in the attrition world than not.
Exactly. You know, that's a sustained war right there. And so that would be in your favor for sure. And even now, it's still fine. Like I would think that would have been fine. If you're going to use W here, like I understand like you feel threatened. You want to find an easy way to CS these. Like
that was my thought process. I'm trying to just refresh my energy and just try to get a few more minions with the Q.
Yeah, I think really it's like you could just, like if you're just gonna last hit these with Q, you don't have to use W. You're fine to just walk up, Q, walk back.
Okay.
But if we're gonna drop W here, it's like you might as well walk. Like your W is such a strong tool. It has such amazing defensive capabilities that you can be so offensive while within it. That it's like it's fine to just get a little like freaky in there. Don't stress it. So I would say yeah, like this could be more aggressive. But ultimately it's like whatever. You got a Q, like that's still fine, right? Like that's still within our game plan, right? You got CS, you
It
queued
could just
her.
be better. It could be
Yes,
better.
you could min max it more. One thing to keep in mind, obviously we're running D-Ring here, so it's a little different though, but when you do run D-Shield, you want to use your potions as late as possible. Because the way D-Shield works, it increases the health. I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah, healing after taking damage is based on your missing health. So it heals more based on how low your health is. So you always want to use
40%.
Yeah, so you just want to use your potion as late as possible when you do have D shield. Just something to keep in mind.
So what would be a good like
Whenever you
a
feel like holy
numerical
fuck, I
number?
really need it. I probably 30% is fine. Like if you're like here,
Okay.
I would do it. Sure. Like if you feel like if I don't do it, I will probably just die on the next like ability usage. But the longer you push it off, the more value you're gonna get out of it.
Okay.
So ultimately, just stop again real quick. So you're saying like you kind of view Akali's champion identity kind of like you feel strong all the time and you feel good fighting? Is that like, or when I say like, what do you think Akali's champion identity is? What's your hypothesis?
I really don't know.
Fair enough. Okay, so Akali,
Like if I'm being honest, like I haven't really thought that much, and I haven't put that much time into her to really. I basically, I guess, I want to get to the back line, and I'm trying to take out the squishies. Like when I'm playing Akali, my head is I need to be jumping on the AD carry or the mid laner and basically causing as much chaos in the back line as I can.
yeah, so like ultimately like we're a support, right? I'm not a support, an assassin, right? So yeah.
Well, yeah.
So we want to be diving the backline and like take like fucking up their backline, making like their Zaya or Ari have a bad time. Like yeah, I like that. But I would say more fundamentally, like I view Akali as somebody who is a skirmish-oriented assassin, somebody who really pushes leads well and snowballs very effectively. But fundamentally, like we like to skirmish, and what that means is like if we see some shit happening with our jungler and we want to take a 2v2 and we feel like we're strong and we like the fight, go for it. You know, we like that sort of stuff. We generally don't mind like we're not like a Pantheon who like thrives on chaos or like a Fizz who just loves shit to get freaky all the time. We want to be somewhat picky with our fights. We don't want to take all of the fights because there's definitely times when we're not strong. Like if we don't have ult or if we are like not on great spikes, you know, or if we, you know, like there's time we want to be picky. So be intentional about choosing your fights. But you're happy to go and take fights. You're happy to skirmish. You're happy to be in 2v2s, 3v3s, be in dragon fights. You're not necessarily somebody who wants to sit in side lanes. You're not necessarily someone who wants to be like playing for pressure and pushing down turrets in towers.
Yeah,
So,
I have learned that I typically I do like the split push idea because I spent a lot of time playing Gangplank at top, and that's like how I got to plat. But Akali's turret taking abilities
it's
are
poor.
terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
But I could see Lichbane making that a lot better too.
It definitely helps, but it's still not making it amazing. Definitely helps. Like that's what's weird about Akali is she's strong in the side lane because she loves a long lane. She loves taking 1v1s. Like she loves that shit. But like you said, when she gets to actually hitting the tower itself, not so
I
not
just feel
so
like a wet
great.
noodle.
Yeah, it's not amazing. So I would
So
say
if I am in the side lane, it's more or less just to pressure, pull somebody over, and then I want to rotate over to the team fight.
yeah. I would say it depends on like the matchup. Like if you find the right matchup, you can definitely play for the 1v1 and get the kill and like make stuff happen that way. Like you can like say you're in a game where you're strong, but your team isn't necessarily like a team fighting comp and you would lose like all out 5v5s. It's fine to play side lanes to bring people to you and try to find picks like that to create numbers advantages. Like you can get creative through your pressure in the side lane, but it's definitely like we're not a split pusher. We're definitely not a split pusher.
So then, would Ignite be a better
No, definitely
summoner
not.
spell?
I would always take teleport.
Okay, 'cause I do like teleport pretty much
Because
any solo lane, even
yeah.
even with Gangplank, I prefer it.
Because there's
Just
some
again playing
matchups.
top as much as I have, I value good backs, and
Yeah.
like a TP can save you
It can
Can
get
save a
yeah, it can
lane.
bail you out of lane sometimes for sure. And Akali can definitely get abused in some matchups early on. So it's definitely, I think TP is always good. And like we were just saying, like if you do have that pressure in a side lane, and you can like force somebody low or like keep them uncomfortable in side lanes or force them to answer waves, and then you can TP to create a numbers advantage.
Yep.
That's a valuable use of teleport. And also, Akali does not lack damage. Like if there's something in her kit she does not struggle for, it is damage. If you're
No, and that's why I feel so like strong and willing to fight. Like I
yeah.
don't ever feel like wow, I don't have the damage to kill somebody. No, it's
Mhm.
just because I fucked up and didn't play it right.
Yes, but Akali does like she doesn't have much else but damage, right? So it's like it's easy
Well, yeah,
for
there's no
you
CC
to
or anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's easy to get yourself in trouble or get overconfident because she has so much damage that you're willing to take the wrong fight. That's again,
Hmm.
it's just like we don't just because she feels so strong, don't let that go to your head and be like, I'm willing to take every single thing that happens. We want to be somewhat picky. We want to be opportunistic ultimately. Um,
And champion, going back to like the first thing you said, champion mastery. That's where that's really gonna
yeah, that'll help because then you'll be like, this is a bad
explain
situation.
that
You
to
won't even
me.
have to think
Yes.
about it. You'll just know. And you'll be then
Okay.
instead of sitting there being like, should I take this fight or not? You'll be going somewhere getting something else done.
Okay.
You know, that's exactly like that. That's why that champion mastery is so important. And like when I look at Euro PGG, really what comes to mind to me is like, there's definitely going to be stuff in game. There's definitely going to be game losing mistakes in lane. There's definitely going to be shit where you fuck up mechanically or shit where you fuck up on the macro or stuff that's just like you obviously you like there's things you're missing. There's gaps in your knowledge for sure. But when I look at somebody who's played the game for since season 5, like you have, who's gotten a lot of games in across a lot of like what you need more than anything is focus. If you focus on playing Akali, if you commit to just 3 weeks, I'm only playing Akali, I'm only playing mid, you're going to see some results. Like I'm very confident in that because it's like I think what you are disrespecting is the difficulty of the game via champion mastery. Um, and then also like the difficulty of any individual role, like the difficulty of the game just as a mid laner. You know, like you're kind of alluding to it earlier. You think like, oh, I can just load into a game, play whoever the fuck I want, and click buttons better. And it's like that's probably true in this elo for you, but it's because you're not actually playing where you should be, or it's not that you're not playing where you should be, but you are held back by how skewed your perception of the game is, you know, because you aren't really developing your ability to see the game in a genuine way. Do you see what I'm getting at?
Yes. Yes. And that's why, like, if you notice, like, there's a few gangplank games in there, and that's where, like, I've been playing him, like, it ranked just for LP.
Yeah.
And like, I could check the ego at the door and accept that if I'm gonna start playing mid, I'm gonna play Akali, I'm gonna lose games, and it's okay.
Yeah, dude, you can only be where you are, you know? And the only way to get better is to, like, go through it. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, 100%. And it's not that's the hardest thing I think about improvement in league is it's not about the winning, it's about the learning. It's about
Hmm.
like, okay, like what did I do wrong in this game? What can I actually take from it and apply to my next game? And I think that like yeah, I think your Gangplank experience will be really helpful for you because you have something to go off over. It's like, okay, when you play Gangplank, you understand things intuitively and you're way more comfortable. It's like you can get to that point on Akali, 100%. She's
Well,
a
yes, yes. Well, I've gotten that way with Viego in the jungle.
yeah.
Like that's probably been my most recent OTP for this season.
Hmm. So yeah, 100%. So I would say just like focus on playing with intensity, focus on um like accepting where you're at on Akali. It's a completely fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it to like be where you are on Akali. And it is a journey. You know, it's a champion mastery journey, it's a league improvement journey. It's like that stuff will 100% come with time. And if you commit to playing a couple weeks of getting a lot of like getting two to three Akali games per day,
Well,
that will
easy, yeah.
that'll
I
add
have
up.
no, yeah.
So let me ask you about that actually. Like, what's your kind of process with League? Are you somebody who just like well like what's an average session for you in terms of number of games? How many sessions are you getting in per week? Would you say?
Uh, So like I try to do like solid 3 or 4 blocks, and then like I'll go have a smoke or go eat some food or go do something just to step away. And I'll probably do that like I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 times a day. And then on the weekends I have a lot more time. I don't typically play ranked during the weekdays because like I work a full-time job and like my job just requires a lot of like mental gymnastics sometimes. So I don't feel as sharp by the time I get home. Like I know I'm not as sharp. But like, Saturday mornings when I wake up, I go get my black coffee, take my cold shower, I'm like ultra instinct mode. Like I am fully dialed in, and that's when I try to grind as much as I can.
Okay. I would say, like, I feel you. I'm not sure what you do for work, but like, I work in a kitchen. It's pretty high stress, long hours. You're like engaged mentally the whole time. So I feel you. Like, you come home and it's just like, fuck, dude. Like, I don't feel like I have any mental energy. I'm tired. I don't want to like fucking get in there and get intense. But ultimately, I'll be honest with you, man. Like, at the end of the day, that's just an excuse, and it will help you just to get those reps in. And just like a good friend of mine is a master Irelia player, recently had a
Hmm.
baby. He puts his baby to bed 1 a.m. He gets in a game, he gets in 2 games,
Hmm.
and it's just like that stuff adds up, that level of intensity adds up, and like that ranked experience matters a lot. Like there's a difference in approach. And also, like, if you're going into league games like thinking like whatever, I'm just gonna kind of like go about it mindlessly and just kind of be here to unwind. It's like that's there's nothing wrong with like doing that if that's what you want out of league. But it sounds like you kind of want to push and you want to develop as a player and you want to see like what rank can you really get to when you get down and dirty in there. And like
100%. Because like I was saying, like I did that for Legends of Runeterra,
mhm.
and I was like, "Fuck it, I know I like to play control decks. I made decks that I liked, and I played like 2 different decks, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna be diligent. I'm gonna learn the matchups. I learned all the other decks. I know what people cards are they're playing, and like I got to like I think 83 or something
Rank
in
83.
yeah in
That's
NA yeah.
that's very impressive, man. Wow.
So like I know I'm not a fucking idiot.
Yeah, exactly. Um, but so yeah, just like respect that and get like when you come home from work, it's okay to just like I'll so often just play 2 games, just get a 2 block game in. I like even if it's just a 1 game and that's all you feel like you can do, that's fine. Because 2 things will happen if you do that. One, over time, your level of intensity will deepen like a muscle. You'll be able to handle that more. You'll be able to come home, take a shower, take 5 minutes, and be like, all right, I'm gonna get on the Rift and just get 1 or 2 high intensity games in, and that will matter so much. It's like you don't need that many games to climb. Like 3 games a day is plenty. Like that's an
Well,
awesome amount. But it's
that's why I started playing Gangplank and Rank, just because like I know I can win, and like just doing a few games here and there, it does add up.
mhm. But it's like, is that what
So
you want? Like, is go ahead.
so then I guess my question is am I allowed to play like a normal GP game before I get into the intense Akali games?
If you want to, but I don't really see the reason to. Again, it just kind of feels like a crutch.
I guess it's more like just like a confidence booster for me. Like when I play GP and I
If you,
trust my fucking lane,
I
I'm
would
like,
say
okay, yeah,
if
I'm
you want to
good.
do that to play GP, then yes. If your goal isn't to play GP, then no, because it doesn't make sense. Like
I
if your goal is to
no,
go into
like
like if you want to develop some like what I do personally for me to like
yeah.
get comfortable is I'll spend like 5 minutes on a website called mouseaccuracy.com, which is just like clicking targets. Then I
Yeah.
go like I spend 5 minutes on LOL dodge game, which is like league simulator sort of like thing. It's also just on the web. I'll listen to some like music that gets me pumped up while I'm doing that.
Hmm.
Then I go in league, spend 5 minutes in practice school, just practicing some combos, getting comfortable, and then I'll go into a game. And like
So
that for
it's a
me is like I spend that 15-20 minutes like
hmm.
getting into the right mindset. And then also I feel confident because like okay, I've warmed up my mouse and my mechanics, so like when I get into game, I feel comfortable.
So is a bot game acceptable?
Sure. Like, sure. Yeah,
Okay.
I'd say that if you find a process that works for you, that's fine. The reason I
That's
shy away from
typically
like the
what
GP
I've
game
what
sounds just like I don't know.
it's
It sounds like you're moving away from the point a little bit, and it's just like
yeah.
If
So
you
just focus on the two champions that I'm going to play mid.
yes, if you wanted to have one of those BGP, then I think that's fine.
I'm just super comfortable, and I know he's not the best mid. Like I could play so many different AD mids.
Bro, there's Challenger AP Sejuani's. It doesn't matter. You know, it's like it does like if it doesn't matter. I promise you. Not until like we're hitting very elite elos will meta
Mhm.
truly be impactful. It's like it's not about like this matchup between you two here. It's not about which champion's stronger in the meta. It's about which one of you is more comfortable. It's really literally it.
Okay. So what would be a good AD mid then? That wouldn't be or just what do you think?
Like
'Cause, like
Nefiri.
I'd
Nefiri is
like
a
to
strong AD
have.
mid if you'd like.
I think I had a Nefiri in this game or one of the other games, and I was like, damn. Like I like the fact that he could pretty much jump to somebody off screen.
Yeah, Nefiri is like a strong, simple AD mid laner. It's very blindable.
Okay. So Akali and Nefiri,
Sure.
and then just depending on if we need AP or AD.
I wouldn't even say that. I would say literally your best bet is just to play Akali games, so
So
regardless of comp, regardless of whatever. But just because like
y-
it's about getting the feel for it. Like ultimately, over and over again, it's about getting the feel for it. And
okay, so just
and it's important to be like get into games and be like, holy shit, like this is a terrible Akali game. And then you'll understand why that's a terrible Akali game. And then moving forward, you're gonna have a more holistic understanding of Akali's identity and her strengths and weaknesses as a champion. And
so
also,
don't shy away from the shit shows when I
no.
know because like that my problem is I pick for comp a lot
Mhm.
because I literally know what every champion does, every passive, every ability, their ranges, most of their timers. So
Yeah,
that's my issue is
to call
that
you out
like
a little
I'll
bit, it's
see
like
the
you understand what every champion does on a surface level.
yes, yeah. Like I can tell you what all their abilities are, but like when you're asking identity, I couldn't tell you
Exactly.
what Akali's is, honestly.
Exactly. And like there's nothing wrong with that. Like it requires you to sit down, like you said with Runeterra, it requires you to sit down and be like, you know what, I'm gonna actually figure this shit out. I'm gonna see like what the hell is actually going on here. And then you're like, wait, like this makes sense. Like I tried to play a Akali into a full disengage comp, like Janna Gragas Poppy. And it
Oh
fucking
God.
blew. It sucked ass. And you're like, wait, that makes sense. Kali's identity is somebody who wants to go forward, who wants to get scrappy, but like these people denied what I can do. So
Hmm.
and that'll allow you to understand her better. But also those really hard games for your champion force you to get creative. If you're playing
Okay.
against like Poppy Akali, I mean Poppy, Janna, Vex, right? You can't just
Ugh.
you can't just ult over their heads and be successful.
No, no, no. I'm gonna get feared, knocked up, and killed.
Exactly. It forces you to be like, okay, like how can I get my stuff off on their 80 carry with all the stuff going on? And
I guess that
that forces you to engage the problem, right? You can't just like steamroll over it. You have to actually be like, okay, how do I use Akali's kit to get my job done? How do
I
I
guess
do
I'd
that?
probably play that like a Viego. I'd wait for my team to engage and then wait for some big CC like the cooldowns to go off and then engage. Like if I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's like that's why it's just so important excuse me, to get those reps off on your champion in the hard games in all the games. Because then
Hmm.
you'll be consistently facing problems you haven't before, where you're forced to think about them and apply your kit and apply what you've learned so far. And those are like winning those games are the most satisfying. Because you're like, holy shit, like I can only do that because I'm this good at Akali. You know, it wasn't just like an easy Akali game anybody could plug and play. It's like, oh no, like I'm actually like doing this. I know what's going on. And then that'll translate when you get those DC games where you're just running over everything and you feel like a monster. So I'd say it's like if you feel strongly there's a second champion you want to play, then find it. If there isn't right now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with just one tricking for a little bit. It's like you don't have to commit to Akali for the rest of your life, but it's completely fine to just be like, you know what, I'm gonna spend the next 50 games playing only Akali. And
It's like I don't need to like play warm up games with GP. Like I've played it so much that like I could not play GP for years and maybe pick him up and be like, okay, I know exactly what to do.
mhm, you would still be you
So I'm a,
because your baseline comfort was so high that you'll still you'll still be able to approach that, right? But there is completely a difference between like I have 70 GP games in the past month or past like split, and then playing that GP versus I haven't played GP in 2 years. I still have this baseline champion mastery. It's like you're still going to be worse if you're not recent on that champion, 100%. But I still completely agree. Like if you picked up GP right now, it's like you would feel comfortable because you have a baseline level of mastery that's inherent to the experience you have.
Okay. I'm just taking notes.
No, for sure.
What would be, I guess, a good number of games to hit before I cycle out, or is it just on
70.
feel?
I would say
70?
70 is about a good amount.
70 games.
Is that really that? Because like the first 0 to 15, you're kind of in a
70
honeymoon phase.
ranked games, right?
Yes,
I'm
70 ranked games.
70 high intensity.
High intensity is the real factor, but a lot of normal games are just going to inherently not be high intensity.
Yeah. Like honestly, I'm just looking to just limit test and see how far I can.
And then also like it's not just
take
even if you go into a normal game with
shouldn't.
100% intensity, it's like if everybody around you also isn't, it's going to be skewed. So I would say, and rank's just going to give you the best experience. It's going to put you against people that are as close to your skill level as possible. It's going to be the highest like level game you can be in. Just don't shy away from it. Like that's the reps you need is in those games. That's what's going to push you and like turn you into a better player and a better Akali.
So would playing Akali and Zed be too mechanical? Because like I've played both. I've spent a decent amount of time on Zed as well. But or is that just too like are both champions?
I would say, man, for you right now, just fucking play Akali. You know it. Like, not that I don't think it would be crazy if you just were committed to Zed and Akali for the next year. That wouldn't be crazy. But like, from what I've seen of your OPGG, bro, like you need to just play one goddamn champion.
Okay.
You need to commit to it. Just make it Akali. Get 70 Akali games in, and then
I like Akali. I have fun playing her. I like I like her lore. I think ninjas are cool. So like cool. I have
she's
no
a champion that also
her.
will change. You will change your perspective on her. She's like Gangplank in that way. Where like the champion mastery on her is so insane. Like the curve makes such a difference. If you're like an Akali, if you're really comfortable on her, the feeling of her as a champion is completely different.
Okay, so it's totally worth OTP,
100%.
even if it's like for the rest of this split.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
100%. She's a champion inherently that requires a lot of games to feel like her max potential out. And especially just like from what I've seen of how you're playing this game, it's like it ultimately doesn't even really matter which champion, but it's like you just need to focus in on one to regain that feeling of understanding that champion mastery arc and why that matters and how that feels to learn on a new one. And if you get to 70, 80 games in Akali and you're like, I'd never want to play this champion again, there's nothing wrong with that because you're going to learn so much on that journey anyways.
Okay. I don't think that'll happen because like I really enjoy her kit. I like the champ a lot.
Let's not even stress too much about that. Let's focus on just getting these next games in, man. Like that'll make a difference, I promise you. So let's take a look at this again. Let's get in here and see what's going on.
I do appreciate the dialogue, by the way.
Of course,
this is fantastic. I've never actually done like any kind of coaching for this game before, and I wasn't sure what to expect, but this is awesome.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I mean, League's one of the hardest games in the world. It's insane how difficult this game is. There's so much stuff going on. There's so many like split decisions you need to make, and you can't make it if you don't have the prerequisite knowledge. And also, League's a game that tricks you because, like you were saying earlier, there's so many people that feel the same way. That's like, I know what all the champions do. Like, I fucking know League of Legends. Like, what are you talking about? But it's like, unless you get jostled from the outside and like have your kind of perspective shifts, it's like you don't truly understand some of the levels to this game, you know? And I think it's just such a fun game, and it only gets more fun the better you get at it. And I just like, you asked me earlier and I never really got to it, but like, why did I kind of want to like get into coaching? And it's just, I don't know. I want to help more people have more fun with League. And I don't know. It's just like, I just enjoy helping people with it. I enjoy like talking about the game. I think there's a bunch of interesting stuff here. But also, I think League is such a good microcosm of life, and that like, there's so much adaptation that's necessary game to game, day to day, and you're so rewarded for putting in the consistent effort. I'm like, it's just, I don't know, it's such a rewarding game.
I would agree. Definitely feels good when you like, I don't know, when you perform well in this. It feels so much better than like playing COD or Halo, or it's like the closest thing it reminds me to is like Elden Ring or like a Dark Souls thing, where you like, fuck, bro, I've been on this boss, I've died like 100 times, and you finally nail it. It's like, yes.
Oh yeah, it's yeah, dude. There's nothing like seeing that victory screen, or like you just made a crazy play and your heart's pumping, bro. It's such an emotional game, bro. It just gets you. It fucking gets you. It's fucking hell, man.
My pal, I'm about to get ganked soon.
So here's something just we can think about on Akali, like W usage.
Yep.
It's like stealth in a way, right? Where let's think about it from Ari's perspective here. Let's see if I can even do it like this. Like right now, she's scared, right? Because she can't see you. She doesn't know what you're doing. She's feeling under threat. And this is something Akali does amazingly, is she can generate threat so well. And this is a huge tool of it, right? Because she doesn't know where you are and what you're going to do. And she's so used to seeing when Akali's drop Shroud, they walk up and cue her.
So is that why she's already walking backwards?
Exactly, she's scared. Like, she doesn't see you at all during this whole point.
No, she does land a very good charm, though.
Yeah, but it's a charm from fear, right? Ultimately, she lands a lucky charm. I wouldn't say it's very good. I would say it's lucky.
Okay.
Because it's blind. It's completely blind.
It is blind. That's why I was like, damn, I don't even know how, like, she could have thrown it anywhere, and like you said, it was just luck.
Exactly. So say, like, if we're playing kind of understanding this Shroud's going to put her under threat.
Mm-hmm.
Again, let's actually... I'm not trying to dilute this lesson too much, but let's just look at how we're placing this W, too. All right, so we put our mouse here. We're here currently, and we threw the W down here. If we're trying to maximize threat onto the Ahri, right? Because if we're thinking about like what does Ahri actually want to do in this situation, before we take this into account, what is Ahri's genuine goal like in this moment?
She wants to last hit the two ranged minions, probably.
Exactly. Right, we can see her head where she's clicking around here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, and with in mind that we'd like to use our W to like, if we're going to use W in this situation, we want to maximize the threat. Where would you put?
I should have put it between her and the minions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because then she's like, I cannot do what I want. I'm even more scared. Because think about like she stops what she's doing as soon as you put this down, anyways. Oh fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was even more in line with where we were, it's like she'd be even more threatened. So that's just like a W usage thing to keep in mind. Like this is the second time we've seen a W where you're placing it because you feel threatened. But you have to understand it, like it is a defensive tool, of course, but it gives you so much ability to be offensive that like we want to maximize our threat usage there. So you just want this creep, that's why you're Wing. But anyway, so the other point I was trying to get to is keeping in mind, like, she's feeling so threatened when you place down W that she just throws out a blind charm. We can kind of use that information to be, like, don't W walk straight as close, like, the point closest to her, right? We don't want to go straight to here. What I would do on Akali a lot of times is you just, like, I circle around like that. Or you can even just wait here, see what she does, and then move up. Because like
try to bait out something. Okay.
Exactly. Because it's just like, she's the one under threat here. You're the one with more options. Just see what she's going to do. And like, see how Shroud keeps moving as it's out longer? So we'd be able to move into it.
Yeah, that's something I forget, that it expands as it goes off, I guess. Like it starts smaller and then it gets bigger.
Yep. But ultimately, like the fundamental there is that this will come to as you get more comfortable on Akali, but understanding that when W's down, you should be the more comfortable of the two people. Right? Like, she should be the one who's panicking, feeling under threat, and feeling overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
So when you place W, we want to maximize that feeling on her, and we also want to utilize that time to kind of like see how she reacts. Like you said, you were doing MMA for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like, isn't that kind of how some people think about like a jab? It's like you kind of just throw it out to like see how the person reacts to it, like kind of get a feel for the space. It's like
absolutely, because like
you can almost think of the W in a way like that. You know, I'm going to throw this down, see how you react to it. Like, what do you do? Do they instantly back up and give you space? Do they throw out abilities because they feel threatened? Or do they just kind of continue at ease?
Mm-hmm.
And kind of seeing how they react to that W, you can then utilize that in the future. But also, it's like the W is a pretty long ability in the moment. I think it's like almost 3 seconds. 5 seconds. You have plenty of time. You got plenty of time. So just walk around it, get comfortable in there, and you see what I'm trying to say, right?
Yes. I have time. I don't need to be so anxious.
Yes. And part of that will come with time as you're more used to being in Akali W. But start thinking about it now. Start like thinking about like how do people react when I put down W? Like what are like strong movements in my W that like give me high value? Oh, I hope this is gonna be a fun bug. Hold on. I mean, you can't blame Riot for like having a poor replay client. They're just a small indie company, man.
Oh no, that's why, like I said, I already downloaded one. I have it all set up because, like, I used to do clips and stuff. So, like, I got a rig and I didn't set it up exactly how it was on my laptop.
Yeah, no worries. What do when I say wave management, what does that mean to you?
Where the wave is sitting. So like right now, honestly, my wave management is kind of shitty because like the wave is kind of where she wants it. She can be safe. She's right next to her tower, and I'm like halfway, like if we're thinking like in a basketball terms, like the halfway on a court. I'm on her side of the court right now instead of on my side.
Yes. So I agree that she wants the wave. She likes the wave here for quite a few reasons. Do you think like so you said she likes the wave here because it keeps her safe, it keeps it on her side. Also keeps you under pressure because it exposes you to ganks more. You see anything stylistically between these two champions that might also indicate why she would like this wave? Like, would you say that, like, say, like, I don't know, like, I guess, like, stylistically, I guess what I'm trying to get to instead is that a big reason why she also likes this wave state is because it's a bad wave state for you, like, stylistically on a fundamental level. Because think about...
Well, like, I can't land an E. It's very difficult for me to get an E or even try to get close enough to really engage.
Yeah.
Or do anything.
Yeah, like landing an E is very sketchy here for sure. Exactly. It's a great point too. And like in line with that too, like think about how Akali wants to do her DPS, right? We want to land a Q, grab our comma, auto attack, land a Q, grab our comma, auto attack, land our E, get a comma, auto attack. Like those are a lot of things going on. That takes a lot of time, a lot of steps. My point is that we want the long lane. We would like our wave to be like around here. Sorry,
so basically just flipped. Like where she has the position, like that's where I would want it. Yes. I would agree 100%. Yes. Like because ideally, that's where I want the wave to be sitting.
For a whole bunch of reasons. So when I do
decide to go in, she doesn't have to just walk maybe like, 5 steps and then I'm already in tower range.
Exactly. You can't actually really threaten her from this lane position.
Oh no, I do some tower dives in this game, I think.
But
Because I get so I'm like okay, patience
exactly.
is something I need to develop also.
Oh yeah, but like that
And I
part of
need
that
to
comes with like again, like part of that is like I know Akali can ult forward, like I know she can do a lot of damage. I want to do that, like but like as you play more games, you're gonna realize like I can't actually do that in this situation, and you won't even try. But so yeah, for part of the like flipping the reasons you said, like you like the lane here because it allows you to farm safely, allows you to be safe from gank threats. It allows you to, but like the biggest thing is it enables your threat. It allows you to be most effective on the like in terms of your threat because you need space to run her down to do most of your damage.
Mhm.
You can get away with that on a neutral wave state. That's still fine. But you are ideally like around right here. And again, something that is important is to know there's a difference between like having the wave on your side and being under tower. So the goal is to try to like either have it on our side or be neutral. Those are our best options. For under tower, that's Ari isn't pissed about that because you have to be focused on CSing and she can harass you pretty easily.
Yeah, for sure.
The danger for her still is you have so much threat in the long lane if you can get on her.
So poor Q usage led me to this position.
Let's take a look. I think that's part of it for sure.
And not being comfortable with losing a few CS.
Yes, that's
Because like
definitely a
like
big
if I
thing.
like if I just would have been comfortable going down some CS here, but allowing the wave to push more into me, I would have been safer. She wouldn't have been on, her side. Yeah, we had some shenanigans dance off.
Plus 10,000 aura points. Yep, so like yeah, exactly.
Like, and I know I want to clear all three with one Q. I know that was my goal there.
Ideally, but only if
Sometimes it doesn't happen. Like
yeah,
that
and you can
bottom
set it up. You can.
melee has got like I should have autoed it once and then got it more in line with the other two.
I wouldn't even use Q here.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Like yeah, if you can hit all three at once with Q, we're gonna do it. But like Ari can set this up just so you can never do that. If you as the waves come in together, if you auto one melee once and another one twice, you can never do that like that efficient 3 melee clear like that. But like we were just saying, wave management starts on wave 1. Like you had hit it on the head. I think wave management is about wave position, but more specifically, it's about the steps that lead to that wave position and how to recreate them, how to make that replicable. And you touched on some things like, yeah, sometimes you got to give CS to just make sure you guarantee your wave position. Because Akali's fundamentals are going to be probably the most important is going to be your trading. Like your understanding your trading patterns, how to get them off like consistently and effectively. Number 2 is going to be your wave management. Yeah.
Yeah, wave, yeah.
Hey
man, I give you credit.
Because you almost fundamentally, like we identified, cannot get good trades if your wave management's poor. This leads to that. It's like you need to have good trading to be effective on Akali, but you can't find good trades if your wave management's not correct. Or it's going to be hard. It's going to be very difficult to consistently find good trades that are recreatable if your wave management isn't correct. And so I'd say, so understanding how these link together, and I'll try to get in depth with you here so we can understand wave management at a higher level, but understanding wave management will lead to having higher level traits. And eventually, like this will just snowball into way more stuff.
And I'm also nailing home that the second wind D shield and getting a feel for that type of health regen will also make me play drastically different.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm assuming that the feel of those two regen items, we're just gonna call it,
Yeah, you're
is
sustained.
way different than the fleet footwork proc. Because like that, like I'm using fleet footwork for the sustain, where I could have just gone D shield in second
Yes.
wind.
These days, the way Fleet works is you're not really getting amazing sustain off of hitting creeps. It's like, see, healing from minions is 15% effective, and it's 12 HP.
So it's like nothing.
You're barely getting 2 HP per minion time you hit it. So
And
you're
what,
getting
D
most
shield's
of
like
your
45 at least.
yeah.
I think.
It's and like it's dumb. It's fucking dumb. Yeah, 45 anytime you get hit, plus 4 every 5, plus the increase while you're lower on HP. And then if you pair that in tandem with Second Wind, which is just essentially a second 45 every time you're hit, it makes it so hard for them to find really meaningful poke. You definitely, if you're like getting hit by everything, you're gonna get poked down. But it just enables you so much more. It doesn't mean like you're a tank, you know, like you don't care about getting hit, but it just means like when you walk up in Q and she auto W's you, it's like it just means that in the long run you win off that Q because
she's relying on mana where I have energy.
That too, yeah, that too. It's like it just enables you to actually play and win in the War of Attrition. That's what those 2 runes are for. But so anyways, to get granular, to get back to wave management here. Our goal is to get the wave to push into us. Like from the beginning. Understand that like come into level 1, come into the waves meeting with a wave management goal, right? I don't want you to like hyper focus on it, but like I want you to like before anything's happening, when your mental stack's free, if we're walking into lane or in loading screen or even champ select, be like, how would I want the wave in this matchup? In an Ahri matchup, any mage matchup, most range matchups, just as a rule of thumb, Akali's fine with getting like the wave coming towards her. Because like we identified, we have so much threat in the long lane.
Does the 3-wave crash in top lane apply to mid lane?
It does. They're different though. Okay. Because you have to be much tighter on the mid lane 3 crash.
Okay.
Because a true fundamental of wave management is understanding where your reinforcing wave is. When I say reinforcing wave, I mean the wave that's coming in, right? The one that just spawned, that's coming in to reinforce this current wave. Because right, it's equidistant from nexus to nexus to midpoint in the lane, right?
Yes.
It takes the same amount of time for the waves to meet in the middle. The travel distance is the same. Say the wave is right here.
Yep.
Her reinforcing wave will arrive sooner.
Because it's on her side and it'll eventually push to me.
Exactly.
Like if nobody was attacking the minions, it'll slow push back.
Exactly. So equal waves meeting on her side will push into you because the reinforcing wave. That's why like you need a certain amount of creeps. Like you would need like 3 creeps right here to hold a freeze because that would out DPS the incoming wave, the reinforcing wave.
So it's 3 instead of 4 like it is in top.
Yep, because top you're a little bit deeper, so it takes even longer.
Okay.
And even quicker, right?
3 range?
Yep, 3 ranged. Like right here to right here, you know.
3 range.
But
3 mid. Okay.
So we're coming into lane, right, with a wave management idea of I want to get pushed in. Or like I want the wave to come towards me. I don't want to get under tower. I don't want to like completely sit back and completely eschew all like wave pressure or like pressure at all in lane.
But I could even like hyper posture aggressively to like force her to throw a Q out.
Yeah, don't overcomplicate it. Like but don't overcomplicate it. Ultimately, it's just about the creep health and who's DPSing the wave, right?
But if I like walk up and taunt her a bunch of times, I could definitely get her to throw a Q at the wave if I'm standing next to it and give up the first 3 melees, and that'll force it to just slowly push into me.
I would focus on the second part more. Right? Okay. Like it's like right here, we're actually succeeding in our idea because there's 5 creeps to 6. This creep's very low, right? So if we don't do anything here, this wave will push into us.
So instead of queuing here, I should have just walked up and autoed.
Exactly. Okay. Right? Okay. Because also, say she just decides to auto you.
Yep.
That pulls aggro.
Yes.
So we're fine. Especially when we have D-Shield and Second Wind, we do not care about getting autoed. Okay. Even if she's smart and went W, instead of charm, and she auto W autos and gets electrocute off, we really don't
Oh,
care.
she started charm.
Yeah, who knows why? Probably because that weird shit happening on the level 1.
Yeah, just in case somebody decided to not be honorable. Yeah, it makes sense.
But even here, it's like we see too. It's like you're a little over reliant on Q to farm here, which is fine because like it's your third, fourth Akali game. It makes sense, but we just should be auto attacking here.
Okay. Like walk up and hit that first one, boop, instead of that.
And then we'll click back right away.
Yep.
And right here, we Q and we hit 2 creeps. We hit this backline too.
I'm pushing pretty much into her.
Exactly, because she hasn't used any abilities on the wave. She's only last hitting. You know, say she started Q and she was nonstop autoing the wave, Qing the wave, then I might Q the wave back.
Okay.
Just to control the push, right? Because like we said earlier, we don't want to be under tower.
No, because then she could just auto attack, walk up and W auto and walk away.
And not to mention, it's even harder to CS under tower. Ideally we want to keep the wave around here as best as we can. That keeps our threat, that keeps us safe, that keeps her exposed to ganks.
Okay.
Obviously, like if the wave's huge and we're gonna lose half our HP to hold it, you got to adapt to the situation. But that's our kind of our plan. Our idea is to get that down here.
But if she's at the point where she's building up a giant wave like that, I've already made fucking numerous mistakes.
Yeah, totally. And we just want to try to trim from there too. So, do we know our level 2 timer?
2 melees, 3 melees.
First melee on the second wave.
Okay.
Wait. Even if like I think if there's one leftover range from the first wave, you'll still hit it on, just rule of thumb, first melee, second wave. Level 3 is second melee, third wave.
Second melee, third wave. Okay, so it just goes up 1.
Yep.
Okay.
And like I would say just focus on those level timers for now too, because those are also massive, right? If we can if we're in a scenario where we just need 1 creep to get that level advantage and then we can force a trade, that's a really easy trade to win because you have an extra ability. And your level 2 is very potent. Your level 3 is very potent, right? If we can get them out of position and we have W and we can get 3 Qs off and 3 commas, that's a huge trade. On level 3, same thing. If you find the E, it's like you can be very, very devastating on those level up timers. So, but that you're not normally, level up timer trades are more something when you're playing with a lot of pressure, right? Because if she's hitting the wave first, she's more likely, and she's pushing into you, she's more likely to be hitting those timers. So still understanding them is important because then you know, okay, first melee on the second wave, she's going to hit level 2. Let me not be in a bad position when that happens.
Well, yeah, because like she can do the same thing that we were just talking about. She could use that advantage because like everybody probably knows that at this point.
You would think so, man, but they do not. Trust me. Like I've played in diamond games where I'm hitting level 2 first and killing the person, and it's just like, are you serious? But like the amount of stuff, but like the amount of stuff going on in this game, the
mental stack,
exactly,
the mental stack.
The amount of respect it requires from you and the level of detail and attention, like it's so easy for people to fuck that stuff up and fumble it. And like here too, again, right? We just want to be, it's just like fine to find like a couple more autos here. Like we can just auto this. Walk up, like she's back here. She used everything. Just auto this. It is your...
Yeah, I do. I do it again. It's a confidence thing.
Yeah.
And it's, I know once I get used to this door and shield, second wind thing, I will not be so afraid to walk up and take those autos.
Yeah, and also it's like you just don't know what you don't know, right? You didn't really realize it was this bad to be like AoEing the wave of Q all the time because...
Well, right before this one, I played another Akali game into an Ari, and that's why, because I kept walking up trying to melee, auto attack, and I just got chunked out so many times. I'm like, well, fuck that. That didn't work last game, so let me try something completely different.
Yeah, and like you said, that'll be easier with your sustain.
And there's that bad W again, where I should have put it in between the minions.
Not necessarily bad as much as not optimal, right? We're just not optimizing our ability usage.
I think I go for a trade here,
Which you
and then I
should.
get
You're a level
ganked.
up, right? That is something too. It's like when we're playing with pressure, a fundamental we need to incorporate is warding and leaning. So when I say that, I mean I would like if we know our wave's pushing out and it just is what it is, let's just like throw a ward down here, right? Because the main reason of that, say we don't actually know where Hecarim is,
Hecarim is, yep.
or just look at our stuff. The main reason for that is because this is the side your jungler's on.
Yes, yes. I should be posturing towards the side that my jungler's on.
Yes.
And
but if we're posturing towards the side our jungler is on without vision, you can get into these really sketchy situations where you think you're safe, so we're hovering towards our Diana, but then Hecarim's actually just sitting in the bush. And that would feel bad. So that reason, since we know Diana's on the side, and we want to ward to the side that your jungler's clearing into.
yeah, I guess for some reason I don't know. Like just the way I jungle is very different than I guess other people jungle because I don't even know why he started bot side. Because to me, like when I play jungle, I'm always starting top and pathing towards bottom.
Yeah, I mean, just depends. You know, just depends. That's kind of hard as Diana to gank an Alistar. It's not really easy. It's not like this lane setup is amazing.
Well, I'm talking about like the Hecarim. Because the Hecarim started blue side and then is working his way up. Now, because like I saw the mini map and I'm looking at that, I'm like, why the fuck would he start bottom and go up?
As a rule of thumb, most, like, especially in the lower elos, most junglers will just start their bot side just to get a better leash. That's really the minimum of it for them. It's like Hecarim can just start here and do so many options. Like, there's a ton of stuff.
Junglers still take leashes?
But to stay to stay in focus, it's like we want to ward here because that's the side our jungler is clearing into. And that helps us, one, to be safe in our leaning, but two, to give our jungler vision towards the quadrant they're in, right?
Okay.
So that helps on multiple facets. It's going to keep us safe from the Hecarim. We'll have vision. We'll have a side we can lean to. We can lean towards our jungler. And then it helps our jungler be safe in making their decisions.
And the placement is right where the water meets the...
I like this spot because then you can see them coming like this or moving like that.
Okay.
Another decent
warding. What about warding the Raptors at like 120?
I like doing that in matchups. You know, you're not like, so for most Akali matchups, I think that's fine. If we know we're playing to get pushed in.
Okay.
If we understand that I'm gonna be pushed in, and that's what my goal is, that's how I want this lane to play out. That's what I expect to have happen.
Yep.
I like doing that.
Okay.
Because then
Is that where you place it where the X is, or do you go a little bit?
I think here's amazing. Yeah. Then you can see them go like this, but sometimes it's too dangerous to do that and just getting the Raptors.
I've gotten chunked out trying to do that a few times.
If we can get it here, that's ideal. Sometimes a little too greedy. It's really just about like knowing, are they topside or not? Are they starting Raptors or not? You know, this is better because it gives us more information, but it's a min-max thing. Sometimes it's just not worth it. But in this situation, like when our wave's here, it's like,
it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, Ahri's not under threat. She doesn't matter where her wards is. It's just luxury. It's just about information at that point. Like she can't be ganked by Diana from any angle, really. So she doesn't need. That's why it's like warding and leaning isn't a fundamental that's like heavily prioritized on Akali, especially because it's just like you aren't often in situations where you're playing with pressure. You are in this game because this Ahri is letting you have lane control and you're just queuing stuff a lot. So it's just like, it just happened, but that really shouldn't be the case. If we're playing to our game plan, you know, you see what I'm saying here.
Yep. I just need to break some top lane habits.
Yeah, no worries, brother. No worries.
Because like in top lane, I'm always getting the early pressure doing a 3-wave crash. It's like, I don't even think about it. It's just what I do.
Yeah. It's like if you can get that and find a tempo reset or like find a tempo ward, like that's fine on Akali, but you just don't have the wave clear to actually guarantee that.
Yes, yeah. Except the fact I'm going to get pushed in and just be okay with it.
Yep. So everything I actually like here, except the W. It's a good E. I like this E a lot. The W is bad.
Was for energy.
Yeah,
'Cause I
but
wanted to keep trading.
but one we just saw Hecarim over here,
Yes.
so we know he's right
I
here.
should have. I should have held it and not even gone for that last Q.
Exactly.
I should have just disengaged, took that good trade,
Mm-hmm.
and then I wouldn't have had to burn flash because then I could have used W as my escape instead of flash.
Exactly. As a rule of thumb, when we're playing with a bunch of pressure like this, and we don't like say like your mental sex obviously overwhelmed here. We're focusing on trading. That's fine. Like that's completely fine to be here. Like starting at this point. As a rule of thumb, when we're this far up, it's like wasting our W to be Like you can't use W offensively here. Because there's going to be so many opportunities, or there's going to be so many, not opportunities, but I can't think of the right word, but scenarios where somebody's going to be here. Like if you're in a Akali playing with this much pressure at level 4, somebody's going to be here. Whether it's the Alistar or the Hecarim or the Garen, it's going to be someone, and it's going to be consistent on that. So wasting W here, your only true defensive tool, like you could use E, but it's just a small dash. But it's still a tool, but like your main defensive tool is your W. And like think about like what would have happened if when Hecarim shows up, you W.
I don't burn flash.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't burn flash there at all.
Yeah, it just gives you so much more room. So just a good rule of thumb: don't waste W offensively when you're in like pressure situations like that, because like that will be a consistent thing that happens.
So as soon as I saw that Hecarim killed Diana, should I have just backed off and not even took that little trade?
She dead yet? Let's see.
Right. So boom.
Yes.
Like this whole trade didn't even need to happen. I should have just backed off as soon as I saw that Diana died at topside in the river.
Yes, and even more on like a fundamental level, we have a different goal in this whole situation that has nothing to do with trading or Hecarim or anything. What do you think it is?
I'm gonna wave management again.
What specifically? Sorry.
That I'm not auto attacking.
Nope.
And I keep continuously pushing with my Q for
something bigger picture with the wave itself.
It's not going to push back. It's going to freeze.
Nope. So specifically, what we're playing for here is to get the crash.
Oh well, yes. Yes. That was my thought process. Was that I want to go back and get my not the Doran's rig, the one that fucking
Dark Seal.
Yeah. When I get kills, I get more AP. That one. That was my thought process.
Yeah, if we last hit well here, we have Dark Seal boots. That's a great back.
That was my plan going in. I want to try to crash for seal boots and then come back without using my TP.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. It's great. It's a great intention. That would have been awesome. What we need to do here is hyper focus on DPSing the wave. All right. Honestly, it's like she doesn't have ignite. As long as we don't completely troll and get hit by a charm, she can't kill you with her damage alone here.
Correct, yes.
So it's just like, fuck her completely. And just hyper DPS the wave. Like, that's all you need to do here. Like, walk up here and then try to Q these 4. You can get 3 Qs off with your W here and then just back right away. And
instead of trying to trade.
Yep, there's no real reason to. It doesn't actually make sense and it does nothing for you.
Okay.
You know? You completely would have had time and would have been able to do it, right?
Oh yes, like if that was
if you understood, like in this moment, like my goal is to get this wave in and reset.
Yep.
Cool.
Like didn't need to do this at all.
Yep. And it sounds like
because then I could have just walked back, got boots.
None of this would have happened. Yep.
Yeah, and I have flash and TP.
And say Hecarim never even comes here.
Like he just insta-backs for some reason?
Yep, say like Hecarim's not in this play. I hate that this happens. I'm not fucking good with this pen still, fuck. Hecarim's not here. Like, look where the wave's meeting. It's perfect.
One, two, three,
It's
four.
amazing for her, right? You can force it to crash eventually, but like it's still like if Hecarim's not
It's
here,
so risky.
this is still such a hard lane position for you to be in. You can get nothing done. It's hard for you to get your damage down on the wave, and Ari's completely safe, right? This is a wave management disaster currently because you have your options are so limited because of your wave management. And I hadn't gotten into it yet. It seems like you kind of do it, like you value this inherently, which if you're a GP player, it makes sense. But remember, our most important fundamental is our trading.
Yep.
Then it's wave management. But then it's getting good resets. Because, like how wave management leads into strong trading, if we have good, clean resets, these two become even easier.
Yes. Playing top lane, yes.
Getting
Huge.
good resets is something like wave management's a prerequisite for getting good resets.
Correct. You can't have one without the other.
Exactly. The better our resets are, the better our trading is. The better our wave management is. So it's like, yeah, if we get a 3-wave crash and we can tempo reset, like that's beautiful wave management into a strong reset. You know, that makes a lot of sense. If that you value that as a top laner, that makes a lot of sense, especially as a GP player. So it's just like understanding like our wave management is going to be getting us into the positions that allow us to do this other stuff well. Because like say we had the wave over here, right? And we played lane in reverse on most of the wave management. It was on this side of the lane most of the time. What would happen is eventually you're gonna find a really good trade onto Ari, and she's gonna have to base. That like I think like when you play War of Attrition type champions, forcing the enemy to base first is really good because then you can get an item advantage. Because if you base later with more gold, you're gonna have better items when you come back out to lane, right?
Yes.
So like that's something that snowballs out of your wave management. That's something that snowballs out of your resets. It's just like something that's a hard pill to swallow, I think, in League of Legends is how snowbally of a game it is. And people are like, yeah, no shit. Like if somebody gets 4 kills, the game's really hard. But it's like, I don't even mean that. I mean like, from our wave management, the game's completely different. Like, say we had the wave here the whole time, and you're the one blowing Ari flash. How different of a game are we playing suddenly? If you have flash up and she doesn't, right?
She's dead 6.
Exactly. And that's coming from what, like, this is what's fucking insane about this game is that kind of outcome is coming from you not queuing the wave here.
Yes, walking up and just autoing it instead of that.
Yep.
That one decision
cascades into something
snowballs into me blowing flash 2 minutes and 30 seconds later.
Yes, my friend, exactly. And if we can truly internalize that, like you will improve by leaps and bounds because then you'll see the connection between like my wave management is fucking me up in every single game I play. Like, holy shit. Like, I'm sure if you go back and watch other games you play now, you'll be like, what the fuck? What? And it's like, it feels like this small thing. It's like, oh, whatever. Like, don't queue the creeps. Like, sure. Like, whatever.
Yeah, but it's the details. Like, it's those little things do make up so many. I see it 100%.
Yeah, exactly. It's a completely different game if we're playing lane from down here. Completely different.
It's because I rely on my ability to press the buttons better than my opponent.
Yeah, and you thinking that that's all you need is you disrespecting these small things.
Yes, 100%. I said I do because I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm so much better than everybody that it doesn't fucking matter.
Then imagine how much easier games would be when you're that much better, but you still have flash up.
Then they're dead at 6.
Exactly, 100%,
right? They are dead, and I know that.
You're just kneecapping yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm literally nerfing myself. Yeah.
So it's just like this stuff will pay such amazing dividends, my friend. All right, let's take a look at your first ult. Oh no.
Yeah, I hate that fucking charm.
I
I didn't
respect it
I didn't
though.
have to dive. Like I knew.
Bro, there's a silver lining to this though, like very genuinely. Like when you understand your limits better, when you start respecting the details, and
I
you set
honestly,
yourself for
I thought the
success.
math was right. I thought I'm like, all right, it's fine. I'll trade under tower. We'll both die. It's whatever.
You know, you got the psychopath, bro. You got that dog in you. It's there, bro, and it's growling. And Akali's a champion that will reward that. Akali's a champion that you see somebody slightly overstep at full HP and you ult them and they will die. She's the
Yes.
champion where it's like if you are willing to get in there and get dirty, you're gonna fucking have a great time and do some crazy shit.
Well, she's just fun.
She's
Like
just
you
so
get
much
to
fun.
just
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm. But you know, we gotta set ourselves up correctly.
This
And that-
just goes. It's more about the wave management.
Yeah, exactly. Like say this ult is happening right here. She's dead every time.
Yeah, but
and you don't even lose 50% HP. Like she's dead every
Why
time.
don't take the two or three tower shots?
Exactly. Like it's not a 1-for-1. She's just dead. And it's like, yeah, your math isn't wrong. Like you had slightly more time and you could get a little bit more damage off, right?
Not taking a fucking tower shot at half health.
Yeah, not tower diving at half health. Yeah, like this is bad. And, like this, she's safe because she has ults and like she's close enough to tower.
And I should have baited out her charm.
Yeah. We should be playing around that slightly better. I mean, she reacts to your ult, but it's also just like super telegraphed, right? You're just thinking like, I think I can kill her. Like, I'm pretty sure I can kill her here. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go for it. But like, if we're playing Gangplank, you just ult right away, right?
Well, honestly, here I'm gonna three.
No,
like,
I'm
I
just
can
saying, like
barrel
it's
so well.
the hesitation thing is just so different. Like there's no like, should I?
Oh, yeah.
Should I
No,
triple
no.
barrel? It's I'm doing it. By the time,
No, yes.
by the
Like
time,
I'm gonna triple barrel and then I'm gonna flash auto Q, and once you flash, I'm gonna drop my ult.
Yes, exactly, right? Where this is just like you're walking back and forth, like trying to like, space out your ult on her, and she's just waiting for you to do something dumb.
Yeah. She knows what I want to do.
Yep, and she's also like we were talking about earlier. It's like Akali generates threats so well because you can do shit like this, where you can just ult on her head, and she has to respect that you can do that at any time. It's like you said, like yeah, you can play to bait out charm here by just like walking up back and forth.
Yes.
Because she's like, is he gonna ult? Is he gonna ult?
Yes, I definitely am.
Right?
As soon as you throw that fucking charm.
Mhm.
Because also, if I have flash here, I could just flash her charm and then go in.
Yeah. Also, doing this with W down doesn't really make a ton of sense. You're just once again making it harder on yourself. Like if we're gonna go for all ins, we should have W.
I could have waited 9 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, and just like a rule of thumb, it's like if we're gonna all in, we want to have our W. It makes such a difference.
I also think I missed that Q.
Oh, you do, I think.
Because like if I don't miss that Q, she does die.
Yeah, I mean it's a really small difference here, right?
Right? Not here. Right? As soon as I come out of the charm. Right? Yes. Like if that Q hits, she dies. Because after I land my R, she goes down to what?
Oh yeah,
Like, less
you
than
need
100?
a single auto attack to kill her. It's really it. But this isn't a micro play. Like you're not fucking this up because of the micro as much as I mean, yeah, if we bait out the charm, but that's just like
Bro,
your
let me
decision
play
making.
Akali like 10 games in a row and that won't fucking
Yeah,
happen.
no, for real, that'll make a difference. It certainly will.
And then just be more okay with losing some CS. Because, like, I shouldn't be up in this matchup for CS.
No.
Like, I shouldn't be at 35 to her 26.
No. I mean, not that 35 is really where we want to be one way or another, but I
No.
digress on that. But, like, again, like, you'll just get more comfortable with it. You'll get more comfortable, like, pushing the limits on, like, I can walk up for the CS or not. Or, like, I need to give this or not. It's like, you'll get more comfortable with all that stuff. Like, that's 100% champion mastery, for sure. But like, don't disrespect. Like, we need to start with, we didn't watch the lead up to that, but like, you got her to half HP. You must have had some decent trades. It's like
I did. I took a trade and blew her flash.
And also, more importantly, like you seem willing to be aggressive and to trade. So you're gonna figure out the trading thing eventually. You're gonna find the comfortable trades. You're gonna figure out the right way to do it. Don't disrespect the wave management. I think that's gonna make a massive difference for you. Get yourself in the proper wave positions. Everything else will come easier. You seem like you already respects getting good resets, and you understand how getting like proper crashes is going to lead to better resets. Ideally, we're resetting and not wasting TP to come back to lane. You already touched on that.
Yes.
You touched on that, so it seems like you understand that at a theoretical level. We got to link the trading and that resets together with proper wave management. That'll make a difference. And then this micro stuff is just going to be so much easier to execute. You know, you won't be pressured because she's flying under tower. You're not going to be pressured because you're going to be doing shit on their side of the map. You know, it's just going to help you help yourself.
It'll make the game so much easier.
Exactly. It's like there's definitely way more stuff, and Akali is a champion that wants to that her mid game is a little complicated, and how she plays out fights is complicated. But we see how much work there is to be done in the lane, and how, like I was saying, how much the game's gonna snowball out of what's happening in early lane. And setting yourself up to be good and comfortable and consistent in that early lane will completely change how your mid game is played out. So it's not really worthwhile to like deep dive into your mid and later parts of the game, because like you're gonna be a completely different champion when we start playing this.
Well, no, and honestly, like correctly. I know my mid game team fighting and skirmishing is like that's where I thrive. I know that. I know I can push buttons well. I know I can take in information. It is the wave management, and also just sticking to one fucking champion will make a huge difference too.
Yep. 100%. Let's go over just like basic Akali stuff. What I would heavily recommend you do is like 5 minutes per session. Just get into practice tool on Akali. Practice the mechanics. Practice the small stuff. If you do that every like 5 minutes per session, if you do that every session, in like a week or two, you're gonna be an Akali god. That stuff will go super far. People disrespect this all the time. It's right here. It's pretty easy to do. Something that needs to become muscle memory like very quickly is like max range Q. So like we're getting the slow on, like you see that end part.
Yep.
That's the slow. So like that's important to get. And then instantly clicking back, instantly clicking forward into your auto. And I like to break it down. Like you seem intelligent. You seem like you understand. Like you're fine with getting to the details of micro. I like to break it down to literally like Q, mouse placement, click, auto. And like get that, so that's muscle memory. So we don't
that three clicks.
It's like
queuing back is one click, and then we're
Q forward click, then attack click as well.
Then
I don't know if you A click or not, but like so Q, back click, forward click, A click.
How important is the A click? Because like even when I would play like 80 carries and like kite, I don't ever do that. I literally click them, move, click, like I click a shit
ultimately ton. Whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay, then I'm not gonna change it.
Yeah,
because like I tried it and it
whatever
fucked me up
with.
so
for me,
bad because I've been doing it this way for so long.
I like it. I like separating.
If I'm walking into a bush, is like the only time I A and click.
Or like stealth champion stuff like that. I like it because it separates your auto attack from your movement. And when I play range champions, I like seeing my range every time. But ultimately, it's a preference thing. Like there's high level pros that just use right click. You know, it's whatever you're comfortable with, and as long as you're not like missing autos or clicking on the wrong thing, whatever you're comfortable with. But the most important part of this all is just the max range Q, because that puts you as close to possible on the comma ring here. And so that's really good.
Where it's literally you're almost like taking like half a step backwards.
Exactly.
Like the character model is just kind of like looking backwards, and then I can pick it up and go back into it.
Exactly. So if we have to do this, it's much harder. Something to understand. I'm just gonna run through some mechanics. I don't know if you know them or not. When we have a comma ring, moving towards it increases, like any of the edges on the comma ring increases our movement speed. Right. So if I Q here and walk down, 477, 482.
So it's basically like how my shroud is. Like I have increased movement speed in the circle.
Yep, it's more, and shrouds is actually decreasing. Right, 30% movement speed decaying over 2 seconds. This is 40% movement speed towards the ring. So it never goes down, right? So we go towards the ring, 482, and it never goes down until like the thing would actually end.
Okay.
And then
okay.
as soon as you pick up your comma, you get movement speed towards enemy champions.
Okay.
So that's another reason why it's so important to be really clean on these comma like pickups, because it makes you so much quicker on getting them.
Okay. Okay.
And like this is something that needs to be muscle memory, like doing these cleanly. It's like because
it's like hitting a max range barrel, like
exactly.
linking my barrels so they're just barely touching.
Exactly, right? Where it's like it's that exact max range, and you're only getting it because the timing's perfect. Whereas like otherwise, like even if the range was correct, but like you weren't correctly there on the time, you wouldn't get it, right? That matters. This will be the difference between getting that third comma hit or not.
So do you have everything quick casted, or is there a way that you're bringing that up?
I do everything quick cast. I set all of my like normal cast to like shift normally. So like if I press shift Q, this brings this up.
What's the setting for to do that?
Normal cast right here. So when you go into hotkeys, go ability summoner spells, literally the first one, normal cast.
Yeah.
It's like I can see my ult range, I can see my E range.
And that's from holding shift, and then you'll press
it. Yep. So just shift,
and then it's
and this comes up. I like that just like in game. Sometimes I can, like if I'm like sitting here and I see somebody walking over, I can be like, I can really see it. But like when I'm playing like Orianna, I will put self cast on shift instead. Just so like
so that's like instead of holding alt.
Yes, that's what some people do. Is alt that would do self cast for me. I just put that to shift. Just that's my preference.
Okay, I'm kind of used to the alt for self cast.
It's just preference for sure. But yeah, I keep these on normal cast for this. Otherwise, I always do quick cast, and I do not like quick cast with indicator. I don't know if you have that.
No,
I think that's
I
think that's just bad. I think that fucks up people's flow, and they don't recognize it. I think you try to do it in this combo here, where it's just like R into E instantly is obviously like.
Yes, yeah. Max range R into E will automatically land your fucking the second part of it. Yes. And it also just feels fucking so good when
it does feel really nice. And you don't have to move your mouse at all if you just keep it on them. And that is something that's like getting
and this is also just practice tool stuff, like a few minutes before I get into a game, just run that.
Yeah, because you can there's timings, like I don't play a ton of Akali these days, but you can get it so the timing comes out really quick. Like so the E's coming out like really very soon. I don't know how you actually do it. I think you have to Yes. I don't think you can
it, right?
I don't think you can buffer it. You have to do it like in the dash. Like if I buffer it, it's waiting till I land. It's waiting till R1 completely ends. But if I input it during R1,
like when you're like midair.
Yes.
Okay. So don't buffer it midair. Okay.
It's like
out of curiosity, can you do the E, like with Ari, you can press her charm and flash really quickly together. Okay, so you can do it. Okay,
you can. Yeah,
I didn't know
during
that.
The cast time. That actually cancels your backwards momentum. It looks like too.
It would just make it like almost next to impossible for them to fucking dodge that.
Yeah, but that's definitely a high risk, high reward.
Yeah, very niche scenario. I was just kind of curious
if you could. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And you can also like during E2, like so. Say this is an RA and I'm E2ing towards them, and if I let it complete, they would just charm me. You can flash out of it. It's like during
does the second part still hit though?
No.
Okay, so basically, instead of taking the charm,
like if the charm's gonna kill you,
I could just reposition.
If for 35 minutes in the game, the charm kills you. Exactly. Or also, like, say you do this, like,
could I flash behind them?
Yeah, you have options from there.
Okay.
Say we like do R1 into E1 like this, and then we want to E back to them. You can also ult out of it as well. And sometimes that's useful for like say this situation where we like R1 E1 like their tank low health carry. We just go to them.
Oh, nice. So you basically, or like if it's the support that's just hanging around or something, I could gap close with the E, but then use the R to actually execute.
Yep. You can get very creative with her E and her ult combinations.
So then, can I reposition like when you're flying in?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess R1, so you have the second up,
Mm-hmm.
and then have E up. So then when you're like, can I reposition while R2 is happening?
Yeah.
Like the Yasuo Keyblade thing.
I don't know how Keyblade works, honestly, but I think like yeah, like you can, but you can only do it with Flash, I believe. Like if I have E2 up and no, you can cancel it. Yeah. Like if I land my E and I have R like this, you can stop it. So just out of any movement from E and ult, you can cancel it with any other movement ability. I'm pretty sure this even applies to like if we do this, I'm pretty sure this works.
I could also see now why you. Oh, so I don't even have to waste it.
Yeah.
Okay. I could see where Proto Belt could be useful because I could also like.
You can get creative. I don't like Proto Belt ever. I would honestly always go Lich Bane or Storm Surge. I think Proto Belt's very niche.
I'm definitely gonna try.
That's my preference, though. Just so yeah.
I am gonna try the Lich Bane. I'm gonna see how that feels. Because I've never tried Lich Bane on Akali.
It's definitely a more combo-oriented playstyle for sure. Like personally, when I play Akali, I play her very specific. I love Conqueror, Riftmaker, Liandry's, or Conqueror, Riftmaker, like Lich Bane. I love that build. Just my personal preference. I think it's a ton of fun to play.
Conqueror, Riftmaker, and what was
Lich Bane
or
like if they're like a heavy tank team or like a bunch of HP, like Conqueror, Riftmaker, and Liandry's makes you just like a team fight god, like a skirmishing god. Your damage over time, your DPS, how healthy it's like you are just a menace. It's not as hard of a spike though. I will like storms like Sork Boots, Storm Surge, Sork Boots, Lich Bane, Storm Surge, like Lich Bane Shadow Flame.
Like a squishier comp.
Yes,
where like I'm looking to like
much more of an
100 to 0 you.
You're much more of an assassin, whereas the Riftmaker, Liandry's, or even Liftmaker, Lich Bane, just with Conqueror, you're way more of like a skirmisher fighter.
There's never a time where you take Grasp, right?
No, I don't think so.
Like if I'm going to take like if their comp is super tanky, I'm just gonna go the Conqueror, Riftmaker, Liandry's. Yeah. And if it's squishies, I'm just gonna try to go Electrocute, Storm Surge into like a Shadow Flame, or looking for the burst.
That's what I think personally. I also don't think it's a bad idea just to be like, I like Storm Surge. I'm like, if you just find a build you like and commit to that build for like a bunch of games, I don't think that's a bad idea either. You don't have to super overcomplicate because like if we're playing well, you're gonna just be strong. So the items are a bit min-maxy, but like I don't.
So could I still burst it like a Galio?
If you're strong enough, 100%.
Okay.
If you're
like, so
yeah, she's
that
would
be the only matchup that I'm like kind of worried about, just because like he's got like natural MR that's shield or something. I think.
Yeah, I'm just never too scared about it. Like matchups I'm uncomfortable on are like Vex or like Cassio. A Galio, ultimately, I'm like, fuck it, you're a melee. I'm not that upset.
Oh god, I didn't even think. Yes, Cassiopeia with her fucking stupid thing where you can't dash or flash out of it, or
yeah, exactly.
The Bane.
But I mean, I have no items, right? I put the correct MR and armor on this guy, same as I have here, and I just maximize my combos with fucking lethal tempo, and it's still doing enough damage to one-shot me.
You have lethal tempo on, so you don't even have electrocute.
Yeah, I don't have yeah, exactly. I don't have any of the correct runes. I don't have items. He has the correct MR and armor, and I'm still doing like 1,300 damage. I mean, that's a completely maximized combo, but still, right? Like,
it's to me, I don't think her combo is that hard to pull off, personally.
No, it's not too hard. The main thing is just like landing E is really like a deal breaker, and then it's just maximizing combos.
But with the max range R, it's like you really gotta try to fuck that up.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, especially as people get better. Like that, I mean, you fucked it up on that Ari.
Well, I ate the charm.
Exactly.
That was the issue.
Yeah. Is that not going to happen ever again?
If I bait out the charm, then that doesn't happen.
Exactly.
But like I still landed I still landed everything.
Yeah,
though.
it's not too tough. It's like you have to miss it. I definitely agree, but it's also it's not. There's nothing harder things to execute. 100%.
I think like pulling off a full Zed
The
combo is
main.
more difficult than
Well, yeah,
Akali.
I feel like they're similar because it's just so dependent. Actually, no, I agree because you have to land your shurikens. It's less guaranteed.
Like even if you get the slow, like I don't know.
Yeah,
I just
it's less guaranteed for sure. But
personally,
the main thing with Akali is positioning, right? Like if your positioning's correct, then like you're gonna find the kills. She
I
has the
think
damage and
wave
she has the
management
target.
is huge.
Exactly.
Like I'm so hyper focused on the wave management,
It's
and
gonna make
after
a
seeing
massive
this,
difference.
well, yes, because when I take trades, I'm not just gonna eat tower shots.
Yeah, it gives you more options. You're not handicapping yourself. Something important to know. E2, if you let it go out, it always plays the auto attack. It's like on E2 come back, you don't have to do anything. Let the comma auto attack play. Because anytime you land your E, you're gonna have a comma. Inherently.
Also, when you land an R too, right? Don't you like flip forward
Yeah.
far enough, or do you have to be close to them to pick it up?
If you're
Like if you're
absolute
at a
max range, you will be on top. No, you still get it. Like,
okay,
if we're
okay.
absolute max range, right? Let me make
So
sure.
then, if I'm really trying to mid max, then I could R max range, auto, then E.
Yeah, you always maximize your commas. I see so many Akali players just give up so much damage because they're not maximizing their commas. It makes no sense. It's like we're playing the champion. Might as well fucking play it, right?
Yes. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right.
And something with E that a lot of Akalis will always fuck up is they're just gonna hit it right away, which is like sometimes you need to, sure. But
Yeah, but it's like a least in queue. I can chill on it.
you also get 2 commas if you play it correctly, right? Because E1 gives you a comma, E2 gives you a comma.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we don't have to rush it, right? And the
I
same,
did not know the second
R1
part.
gives us a comma, R2 gives us a comma.
Okay. Oh shit. So then there's at least 2 more commas I could be picking up and fight.
Exactly. Exactly. And say like we do E1, W, auto, E, and then it's like it's just so easy to grab these. So just like definitely like
Wow, the shroud lasted that the whole
5
whole
seconds.
time.
Yeah, 5 seconds.
League has made me realize that a couple of seconds is actually
It's
long.
everything, bro. Yeah, 5 seconds is an insane amount of time. And then you play Dota and there's like 4-second stuns, and you're like, oh, fun. I'll turn my computer off. Actually, thank you.
Yeah, I'll go to the bathroom, grab water.
Yeah. You come back, you're still CC. You're like, might as well do my taxes. Like, I got time.
I just feel like Dota's too slow.
Yeah, they're different games. They're way more different than I think people realize. Dota's strange because like there's an Blink Dagger is an item that gives you like a 2000 range flash, and then there's champions that have targeted 5-second CC. So it's just like the way your threat assessment has to be so much more sophisticated, and it's my issue with Dota is like the strength feels way too binary. I feel like there's way more room to counterplay and outplay in League than people who only play League give it credit for.
Yes. I think I could be so much more creative in League than I could Dota or Smite. I've tried all 3.
Mm-hmm. I think League's the best game by far.
And I think the characters are so compelling. It's the lore. Like I think
it feels way better. It's just like the game just feels so good. It's so smooth. It feels so nice. Like there's not a single champion in Dota that feels anything remotely approaching Akali.
No,
right?
No,
and not to mention turn
or
rate.
even Gangplank. Even like just like the ones that I like Gangplank, Azir, Zed, Victor. Any of that, nothing. Well, Victor kind of. I've played a couple of characters that are like that, at least in Smite for sure.
Oh, for sure. All right, brother. Would you any questions on anything?
No. I'm ready to do some proper wave management and try these new runes out.
Fuck yeah, brother. Fuck yeah. Yeah, I would definitely say, yeah, if you commit to playing Akali, bro, if you commit to just focusing on like paying attention to your wave management and how it's resulting in what happens to you. Respect the small details and that shit.
Well, that's my goal going into these games. Like I'm not just gonna try to like kill my opponent fucking 10 times by 20 minutes, because that's typically like how I go. Like my goal is to like I'm gonna just kill you way more than you're gonna kill me, and instead of that I'm gonna just try to actually like manage the wave.
Yeah, and what you're gonna find is that will eventually allow you to do what you want to do anyways. and it's gonna just be so much more devastating. And like that's what I was saying earlier too. Is like you have the correct, I feel like a level of psychopath where it's like you're gonna fucking get it. You're gonna get there. You're gonna be rewarded for it. You just gotta like reel it in
Well, I
enough.
definitely don't play. I don't play scared. I have no
Yeah.
issues with willing to
Mhm.
throw hands.
Yeah, dude, awesome. I would recommend
I'm not getting
100%.
punched in the face for real. So
Yeah, download a like recording software. Insights.gg is a really convenient one because it'll automatically record individual games for you. It'll keep them together. Whatever
I have
works for you.
Overwolf.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have Overwolf, so I just picked up replays.lol. That's
Okay,
what I've used before, and I was
if it works for
comfortable
you, yeah,
flipping on
perfect,
that.
perfect, man. Watch your games, but don't fucking go crazy on them. Watch
No, I
watch
don't.
them, and just watch your first 4 waves. That's what I want you to do. Just watch your first four waves and see like how is my wave management.
First 4 waves and like a couple of deaths.
Yeah, first 4 waves, first 2 deaths.
First 4 waves. First 2 deaths.
But literally do first 4 waves, then skip to your first 4 deaths, figure out why they happened, and don't go any further. It's super easy to get like way too deep dive into your VODs and get way too granular and get overthink everything. Just first 4 waves. Did my wave management align with what my goal was? And if it didn't, try to figure out why. And then obviously, if your deaths, like if you fuck up your deaths and shit, like obviously in your deaths you're doing something wrong. Figure out why. If you have any questions,
and don't play too much into it. If I miss the E.
Yeah, that's all you need to take from the learning. Is I missed my E here. Micro.
You're like, I managed the wave properly. I would have killed her if I just landed the E.
Yep. You don't overcomplicate it. You don't need to.
Okay.
You know, that's what's also so fucking confusing, or like not confusing, but like the League isn't nothing individually in League is really that complicated or difficult. It's about doing everything together well, right? So it's easy to
back to the mental stack,
Yeah,
being comfortable and getting that champion mastery to where like I don't have to think about how to manage the wave. Like I already just for example, GP, I know every matchup, I know how I need to play every wave. I know how I need to reset and get my back for a Sheen.
Yep. We're
just
trying to get there with the Akali. Exactly.
Yes.
Develop our reference points, develop our understanding, get slightly more sophisticated in the way we're approaching certain things. And but ultimately, bro, it's like it sounds like you get it. It sounds like literally what we need more than anything is just reps, and then like to just fucking get those reps on Akali and only Akali, and not fuck around with that.
Yeah, no. That's
And you're gonna.
I'm just gonna play Akali, and if she gets banned, then I'll deal with it. Then I don't feel like she gets banned that often.
And if she does get banned, or you're playing bot, like you get autofilled, just it's fine to just dodge it too. You know, nothing wrong with that.
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna just do
figure it out in the moment. It's all good.
Mid top, and then like if she really gets banned and I have to resort to comfort, then I can just fucking play GP, and I'm not gonna have a bad time either way. But
Exactly.
I should. If I'm going to play GP, I should still focus on wave management.
Yep.
I shouldn't just say, yeah, I know I can mechanically outplay anybody on GP. I should still fundamentals and play the game the way it's supposed to be, not just I'm better than you, so I'm going to do whatever.
Yep. Respect the difficulty of the game and just play with intensity and intention, bro, and you're going to get there. I promise. All right, man, if you have any questions, if you run into any VODs you want me to look over, or if you just want to shoot me anything, feel free to. Absolutely, completely open, brother.
Yeah, give me maybe like, let me do like a week. I'd like to get like a solid week of like good Akali games and focus on what we discussed here, and then we'll touch base.
It sounds good. If you want to plan for roughly the same time next Saturday, dude, I'm down for that.
Yeah, that sounds great. Weekends are best for me. I typically I'm up late anyways. And I'm more mentally not taxed on the weekends compared to the weekdays.
Sounds good, brother. Sounds good.
All right, cool. What is your name, by the way? Or just want me to call you Lion?
No, Sam. My name's Sam. That's completely fine.
Sam, awesome. Sam, thank you, man. Really appreciate it.
Of course, man. Thanks for listening to me yap for so long. Appreciate it.
No, to me, this is good back and forth, and this is like, I don't know. This is how like I've learned doing like jujitsu and like Muay Thai, like having conversations and like asking a bunch of stupid questions.
It's the only way to learn,
But
you
like
know?
that's how I learn, man. You know,
Yeah.
and then how you were drawing on the fucking video, that's awesome.
I'm glad to hear that. Good feedback. 'Cause I feel like I'm just fucking scribbling sometimes.
No, dude, I'm such a visual person, so
Mhm.
like, uh, it's great. I love it. Fucking
Awesome.
perfect. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Yeah. All right, man. Have a great rest of your night, dude.
Yeah, you too. Thank you, Sam.
Of
Bye.
course. Take it easy.